Hey guys, before this video starts, make sure you guys check the link in the description down below to fill this form out if you want to, so you can be featured in the next podcast episode. You don't have to, it's totally anonymous. That's why this is Yes or No is here, and I hope you guys enjoy the episode. Bye. Hi guys, welcome back to the Peace, Love, Serenity Podcast, episode 5. Today, I'm joined by a very, very special guest. You've seen him everywhere, hopefully. I don't see why you wouldn't. Glaceon.
Hi, I'm Glaceon. That's what I prefer to be called. And I can give you a couple reasons why you probably haven't seen me, and it's because my name isn't out there at all. But I do have a YouTube channel, EC Glaceon, and you can catch me there. And me and Cory, we both work on a series together. Josh The Octoling, I'm the writer. He's a voice actor.
Oh, yay.
So yeah, thank you for having me.
Of course, and thank you for being here. So, today's topic we're going to talk about, lying and cheating. Now, I know when you guys hear that, you automatically think exes, friends, hell, maybe even parents. You know, this is a broad topic, but, you know, there's lying and cheating doesn't necessarily have a negative connotation. And what I mean by that is, sometimes lying can be used for good, you know, it's not necessarily all terrible. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Well, there are definitely times where lying can be hurtful, and I'm pretty sure there's a dictionary definition somewhere that includes that word. But there's such a thing as white lies, where you're just telling a small lie or stretching the truth, maybe to make somebody feel better about it or something, or maybe not telling somebody something when they really shouldn't need to know it. Like maybe you have a small secret and somebody asks you about it and you're like, they don't need to know about this. I'll just say, nah, that wasn't me. That sounds a lot more like a big lie, but think I'm getting my point across?
Yeah, I totally understand.
Like, maybe if somebody delivered a speech and afterward they're like, oh, I blew it. And they did blow it, but you gotta be like, I gotta make them feel better. And you're like, no, you did great. Even though that isn't what you really think.
Being supportive, yeah. But yes, being supportive is when lying, I guess, is, you know, helpful in a positive way. I mean, tell me about some negative ways.
Well, like, for example, I'm a student. And now more than ever, because of online schooling, it's becoming easier and easier to cheat during a test, or like be like, no, I did this homework assignment, don't worry, because that's how my school's set up. It's based on an honor system. If you go, I did my homework, they'll be like, okay, A+, because it's your test that you're flunking. But like on the test side of things, it's really easy to cheat when you're online, and teachers can't do much other than be like, okay, if you say so. But other than moral consequences, it can have physical consequences. Like, if somebody finds out, you can either be like, okay, I did it, or you could try and get out of it and potentially dig yourself deeper into a hole, which is probably where the stereotype of lying is bad comes from. Because we're taught from a young age, oh, you can't do this. If you do, you have to admit it. And that's kind of how I was raised. But of course, I don't know anybody that hasn't told, like, a white lie at least once a week, once a day.
And you're using the term white lie. Can you explain what you mean? Like, what does that mean?
Like, a white lie is a small lie.
Okay.
Like, that's a gross oversimplification of it. But it's, like I said, trying to make somebody feel better, or just holding back details that other people really shouldn't know, so you lie about it. But there are, you know, bigger things that people lie or cheat about. Like, for example, maybe a driver's test at the DMV. Maybe you slipped your study guide that you read in your pocket and somehow it got past the person at the DMV because they don't care. The driver's test that I'm going to take when I finally get done with my personal handbook, I have it right here on my desk. It's going to be taken completely online. I, for some reason, had it by my side and I was flipping through it the entire time and I got an A+. Then it's my car wreck. It's my life that I'm putting in danger behind the wheel when I don't know the first thing about being in a car.
Right, and not
And,
just yours, others as
well,
well.
yeah. And you're really putting. When somebody else is lying to you, or when you think somebody else is lying to you, you can't really do much else other than. Unless you have proof, of course. You can't do much else other than be like, okay. Because it kind of always circles back to you're only screwing yourself over.
Right.
Because later, maybe in college, from like the student perspective of things, it's going to be a lot more, secure there. And when they give you a test based on something that you cheated on back in ninth, 10th grade, unless if you somehow have a change of heart afterwards and do your research, that's going to come back to bite you. So
Definitely.
it might hurt, and I know it's a little cliche, but it's always better to come clean, in at least terms of that.
Let's say somebody's closest friend died, right? Somebody's closest friend. Well, not closest friend. They should know if they died or not, but for the sake of this example, they didn't know. And they're having the best time. They just got into a lovely relationship, or, they just finally got that big house that they wanted, or, things are very good in their life. You don't want to be that buzzkill and be like, so your best friend's dead. You gotta lie and be like, she's like, oh, why isn't he or she answering me, or why isn't, I was like, oh, probably because they're on a business trip, or probably because they are on vacation. Just lie just to protect their feelings. Is it bad?
Yeah.
Maybe. But morally, is it good? Maybe. Depends on every situation.
I think morally, you probably shouldn't be that one to tell, but they're gonna eventually find out, obviously.
Of course.
And then they might get mad at you for being like, hey, why did you keep this from me? When were you gonna tell me?
I'd rather you be mad at me because I didn't tell you to spare your feelings versus the one who just ruined your whole life. No.
It really depends on the person. Like, if you look at them and you're like, am I willing to take that risk? Or should I just, pull the plug now?
No, because if you jump off that hill, there is a very high chance you won't land at the bottom. You will splat at the bottom. Telling your friend, hey, your best friend is dead, deceased, gone. That's jumping off a hill. You're jumping off a hill. There's no landing from that. And what I mean by there's no landing from that, Glace, if I told you, if John, the creator of Josh The Octoling, if I was
the
like...
the series we're working on, for anybody who doesn't know.
Not Splatoon, all right? We're in a legal battle. No, let me stop. No, but if I came up to you and I was like, so John's kicking you off the project. Now, what does that do to you?
I mean, at the moment, I'd probably be salty, and I'd probably be mad at just about everybody.
And not only that, now I have to deal with the consequences of telling you. Maybe if John came to you himself and told you that, then I could slide into your DMs and be like, hey man, yeah, that sucks. And, be that, emotional support, beacon for you. But if I'm the one who comes to you and I tell you that, you're not only mad at John, you're mad at me, and now I have to deal with the consequences of potentially losing a friend because of me having to tell you. Yeah, morally it's like, go ahead.
I don't think in that circumstance the person that's mad is mad at you. I think they're just mad because of what you're talking about, and because you were the bearer of bad news, you're just caught in the crossfire,
Right.
And eventually, after a couple days pass, I'll be like, probably because it's just me, ask me again when this actually happens, but I'll be like, hey man, thank you for at least telling me. And that's what I do, and if anybody is at that end of the stick where somebody bared the bad news to you and you blew up in their face, just like call them or text them or talk to them and be like, hey, thank you for telling me. Even if you don't mean it, just make sure that there's no bad blood between you and make sure that they aren't feeling bad.
Of
Because
course.
your actions might, if you do just leave it like that, put a pin in it, that might affect their honesty or dishonesty later down the line. Because if they get in that same situation again, or even a completely different situation, they're always going to come back to that moment where you blew up in their face.
Right.
And they're going to be like, I don't want that to happen again. I don't want to lose another friend. So they're just going to be like, no.
And I will tell you, full disclaimer, Glaceon will never get kicked off the project. Let's throw that out there. Because if he leaves, I leave. I'm going to be honest.
Well, hopefully we'll never see that day because
Yes, definitely.
you're basically the backbone of that project.
Don't even give me that much credit.
No, because you were the one voice actor that has been since the beginning. You're the main character, and you're the last one.
Yeah.
So yes, you are.
OG. But no, I mean, it's the only reason why I stayed is because obviously John's a very great friend of mine, right? I can be honest with him. He can be honest with me. Is he honest with me? Not all the time. Am I honest with him? All the time. Because you know, I can't lie about certain things. Now, where I'm at morally, like, you'll think my morals is messed up if you're on the outside looking in. But if you get to know me, you understand that where I come from a place of love. But it's like tough love. I can't tell you, oh, good job, when you've done you didn't do a good job.
Yeah.
I can't be like, oh, yay, congrats, you gave it your all, if I know you can do better.
Only if you're comfortable with it, because
of course,
I don't think anybody wants to pry into your...
I am not ashamed of who I am, what I've done, where I come from, and what I do.
Okay, perfect. I'm
an open book. Please. Okay. So Sis Reacts had a friend named Pyro. They were in real life friends. Hi guys, so I cut the story due to the reason, well, I'm pretty sure you can assume why. Maybe one day I'll post the full story, maybe on the YouTube channel, Cory Lane, by the way. Go check that out. All right, back to the podcast.
Actually have a story of my own that's a bit more lighthearted to sort of change the mood, and it also ties in with lying. So I was in a Discord server, and just up front, I'm not gonna say all the information. If I do let something slip, just censor it. But don't seek any of the people that I'm about to say out. If you do, I'm not responsible. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm talking to the viewers, of course, not you.
Mm-hmm.
But I was in an Animal Crossing server, and I was part of sort of the staff there, not mods, not admin, staff. People that sort of like did giveaways and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Father's Day, so I hadn't met my quota for the week. And I promise I'm not digging up old horses. It's just like a story that I like to tell because it kind of makes me laugh. One of the actual admins contacted me, and they just said, "Hi, hope you're well. You hadn't met your quota." And this is my response, word for word. Yeah. I really don't want to get into it. All I'll say is I'll post more giveaways as soon as I get home and be more efficient from now on. I'm very, very sorry. Their response. Is there a reason why you need to be rude about your response? Yeah, it's very rude. So, like, that ties into sort of like, you know, I wouldn't say toxic relationships, but just because people are above you doesn't make them in the right. And at first I was like, really? Am I that rude? But I was like, no. You can't get mad at me for 2 words, especially when I was like, I'm very sorry. So a couple weeks later, I made a joke about it in one of the staff chats, and I admit that I shouldn't have done that. I admit my faults. But 5 seconds later, it wasn't a bot. Like 3 seconds later, I know I'm changing that. It got deleted. I know it wasn't a bot because the owner herself ended up deleting it. I don't know if she just monitors that for like, I don't know. She later said that she was going to contact me, but she got busy with work. So I don't know how she could have done that and then got busy with work right after. But I uh tried to hide the fact that it was, it took place in that server because I admit I didn't want to pin it on myself, but I also really didn't want that information to be disclosed. And that was some of, and that's part of what I was saying, where sometimes is okay to lie if it just means protecting your own or somebody else's privacy. But they ended up having none of it. I said my lie was, instead of saying, yeah, it was me, I said that it was somebody else. It was in another server. Obviously, that was a lie, but it was in good interest. And eventually, because apparently everybody in the admin team could see, the other person in question said, hey, no, this actually did happen. And I got caught because I'm terrible at lying, and I didn't really have enough time to explain myself. And yeah, they immediately booted me from the team. Yeah, I really don't know if I'm in the wrong, like, sharing this story would make me the villain. But yeah, that's my experience with me being on the lying aspect, and where the line between just in the best interest and in your own interest, that it can get very, very blurry. So I'll just let you guys decide. Was it best if I told the truth, or was there some merit in me not telling the owner and then getting immediately kicked? That's basically the end, because I really do not want to reveal any more information about them. You're your own moral compass when it comes to lying. Like, if you really think it's in your best interest to cheat the next test or lie to your friends, then that's on you. Just think about the consequences and be like, is this really the best course of action? And if the answer is yes, then I'll believe you.
Nice exit. Anyway, guys, if you guys enjoyed the 5th episode of the PLS Podcast, we've been recording for 43 minutes.
Okay. Well, it isn't as long as your last episode, which was almost an hour.
Yep. If you guys enjoy it, if you're on YouTube, make sure you smash that like button. If you're on Spotify and Apple Podcast, I believe you can do a little heart and you can share it. I'm not really familiar with those still. I should do my research.
On Spotify?
Oh, yes. Follow me on Spotify, definitely. And make sure if you're on YouTube, check the link in the description down below. You most definitely will find Glaceon's channel. Make sure you go show that some love. And not only that, because Glaceon is one of my favorite people in the world, Josh The Octoling, that's in the description too. I say that like I'm doing him a favor, but it's really...
Yeah, that's like, I'm sort of indifferent about whether you include that or not.
I probably might forget, depending on when this uploads. So, with that being said, I will see you guys in the next episode. PLS Podcast. We talk about anything to everything.
See ya.
See ya.